Hello and welcome to Designer Discussions. Today, we're going to talk about the number one way to be found online.
Welcome to the Designer Discussions podcast with
Jason,
Mirjam,
and Maria, where we talk about marketing, PR, and business advice for design professionals. So we are super excited to announce that the marketing studio is open. We are providing simple and easy to use resources to help keep your marketing, PR, and client communication the best that it can be. Go to designerdiscussions.com/marketing studio to get started.
All right. Thanks, Mirjam. So this is a topic that I'm often asked a lot, and it ties into SEO and it ties into how to build website authority. And this is also mentioned in my book, The Complete Guide to Internet Marketing for the Kitchen and Bath Remodeling Industry, in chapter 4 on SEO. One of the things, like I said, I'm often asked is, how do you do that? And the main way is through links. What a link is, to the simplest form, it's a way for the search engines to know that your site is credible. So as a designer, when you do a pitch to a homeowner or to a prospect, they're going to often ask, okay, what other projects have you done? Or what other clients can I talk to? So that's the third party credibility that you have. And so that's all a link is. And so it's from another reputable website that's linking to you, that's saying that you are a reputable site. So for instance, one of the easiest links you can get is from the Chamber of Commerce. So if you are a business owner, you should be a member of your local Chamber of Commerce. And if you are a paying member, not a free member, if you're a paying member, you should be able to ask them, or they should already have a link to your website. And if not, it's easy just to ask, and you link to my website. And that's a link from a credible partner. Also, your association. So if you're in the ASID, the AIA, the NKBA, NARI, any of these reputable associations, national and local industry associations that you are paying members of, they should be linking back to your website. And again, if they're not, simply ask them. That is a link from a credible, reputable partner. That is the number one way for you to build website authority, because the search engines will often look. That's one of the search ranking factors that they're going to look at. You say all of this, and this is, you have the keywords on XYZ, on all this that you do, but at the same time, who else in this industry says you're credible? Yes, you need to have one from the Chamber of Commerce, but it's also vital that you have some from the industry as well, because the industry is also saying that you are a credible designer, a credible remodeler, a credible architect, whatever that is. Okay, so you need to have those links. There are other ways, and we're going to have Mirjam talk about the PR side as well, but one of the things that you can also look at is the directory. So there's a lot of directories out there. You have Houzz.
Houzz, if you have a paid profile, will link back to you. That's one of the things that you should always look at when you are working with these websites that are profiting off of your use of photography, is that if you go to their website and you can't click on your link and then return to your website from wherever they have you posted. So if you run an ad, you definitely want to have a link back. And every single one of those Best of Houzz badges is actually their way of building credibility by having a link back featured on everybody's websites. And that's how Houzz pulls up really high in SEO, is because they have a ton of industry credibility, because people have Houzz badges put on their websites with the link back to Houzz. So that's how that works. So you do have to double check things. You can't just assume that you're going to get that link back, and that link back is your SEO juice that you really have to have for your business.
Along with Houzz, you have others out there. You have Angie's List. If you're a member of any of those type websites that are helping to get you leads, they will also link back to your website. You also have social media sites. a lot of people don't even think about this, but all of your social media profiles that you have, you should have those linking back to your website, because even though it's at a smaller level, they are still handing you some juice for your website. And what we like to say, SEO juice, is still passing on a little of that to you and to your website to say you are credible. And oftentimes when you're talking with a homeowner or a prospect, they're going to look at all these other profiles. They're not just going to look at your website. They're going to look at if you have a YouTube page, or if you have a Facebook page, if you have an Instagram page, if you have a Pinterest. They're going to look at all these other profiles because they want to do their due diligence and research who you are, what other projects you have out there, if you have reviews on these other sites, to say, okay, what type of work do you really do? All of these other entities, social media sites, links, and Chamber of Commerce, the industry association, all of that should link back to you because that's helping to give you website authority.
Yes, and there's also a PR way to increase your organic SEO. And actually, we do this a lot in my membership, and I always coach people, interior designers, to take advantage of it. And it's through online media placements. And you've probably heard me talk about HARO, Help a Reporter Out questions. If not, there is a podcast episode that talks about it. It's, I would say, the easiest and quickest way for you to get media coverage in general. And the added benefit of it is that because they're all online placements, I would recommend them because you want to position yourself as an expert. So typically it's expert commentary that you provide on whatever the topic is. They come out pretty much daily. It's rarely that there's a day where there's no query that wants input from interior designers. And these are all vetted media sites. So sometimes you see Better Homes and Gardens, sometimes Apartment Therapy. We've had House Beautiful, even Arc Digest sometimes puts out queries. So there's really good name media sites that you have the opportunity to contribute to. And if you can get a mention in their articles, sometimes there's a backlink directly from your name. So in some articles, they will quote you, they'll use the name of your business, and they will link back to your site. That's the best case scenario, of course. But even if it's just your name, Google will still recognize this, and that will add to your credibility through the credibility of the media site. And because media sites have very high authority, so Google regards them highly and thinks they're credible. So anytime you can get a mention on a site with or without a backlink, it's excellent. I actually found that on, like the digital sites like Fiverr and Upwork, where you can hire people on the cheap to do things for you, they sell they call it link building. What they mean is HARO opportunities, where they are trying to get you media placements. I would not recommend this because I cannot imagine them doing a good job. It's still essential that you provide original commentary that comes from yourself. That's the best way to go about this. If you are a bigger business, there's a second way you can generate backlinks on the PR side, and that is through putting press releases on a wire. So if you are a bigger business and you have news announcements, it can make sense to issue a press release. And it used to be considered like the cheap way to distribute your press release when you put it on a PR wire. There's a number of them out there. And basically what they do is you upload it and they send your press release to every newsroom in the country. There's different types of distributions, but it's not targeted. So it's just it's like you're just sort of throwing it out there, and anybody who wants it picks it up. You can get a few hundred placements that way on smaller sites. Typically, it's smaller newspapers or websites of TV stations oftentimes pick it up. And those are not the types of placements that you're going to show off to other people, but they do help with link building. If you can pick up a few hundred backlinks to your site from media sites, that's not a bad idea. That's honestly why companies put things on the wire these days. So those are the two ways that I would say you can help your organic SEO through PR.
So I have SEMrush on my website, and whenever I click on it, it also shows all of my Pinterest links that go back to my website. So I do think that Pinterest pins are also going to help add to your website credibility, and those typically aren't something that's going to take a lot of time or money to get up.
So these are just a few of the areas that we want to talk about on how you can build up website authority. So again, take a look at my book, which is The Complete Guide to Internet Marketing for the Kitchen and Bath Remodeling Industry. This is in chapter 4 on understanding SEO. And also look at the Marketing Studio, because we actually have a lot of resources there, and we have the websites. A lot of the template websites follow the SEO strategy that I talk a lot about in the book. Take a look at that as well, and reach out if you have any questions at all. And we look forward to hearing from you in 2 weeks here at Designer Discussions.
So we are super excited to announce that the Marketing Studio is open. We are providing simple and easy to use resources to help keep your marketing, PR, and client communication the best that it can be. Go to designerdiscussions.com/marketing studio to get started. We hope you've enjoyed this episode of Designer Discussions and all of the helpful information. Subscribe to our podcast, leave us a review, and share it with your friends. We look forward to having you back next week. For more information on the podcast and the Marketing Studio, visit designerdiscussions.com and follow us on social media.